All right, guys, a very important aspect of your workout is the stretch, both pre and post. And here to talk about the proper way to do it is Charles Bustos, co-owner and trainer over at Firebells. So, Charles, before we get into some of these exercises, why is it so important for us to get a stretch in?
Because we want to make sure that our body is mobile, it's ready, and we use it as an assessment to prep. Is our body capable of these movements? So then we can warm everything up as well.
Okay, so in terms of making sure that we get a stretch in before, after, because I've been told by a number of personal trainers that sometimes if you don't get a stretch in after you really work a muscle, sometimes it's as if you didn't even do the workout. It can actually not, the muscle is not really able to do what it needs to do.
And so our whole approach is going to be more neurological. We want to think of it as a threat. We just put a threat on our body. Same thing. We don't want to put an extreme stretch without movement.
Okay.
And we still want to be safe, we want to be able to breathe through it. And the same thing, if our body feels threat, it's going to get tighter.
Gotcha.
So we're trying to reduce that stress, that threat of the training, of that stress on the muscle.
Okay, that's an interesting way to put it. So you've got a few things, and I'm going to let you demonstrate some of the lower body stretches, because I didn't bring my stretchy pants today, folks. So, so what do you have for us?
So this is a hip flexor stretch. This is predominantly tight on everybody. So we want to align the hips. Make sure we're pushing off that big toe. So we're getting that fascia in the foot, all of the line into the hip flexor. We're stretching the ankle, and then we lean back into it.
Okay.
So this is opening so many things, but it's also working a coordination and balance.
Right.
So there may be some people that can't even hold this position that we have to do a regression. There's people that are advanced, they can maintain this, and we need to challenge it and intensify it.
Really? Okay. Okay. So how many reps of that will you do? Do you just
This
do a
is
couple
more
on
of
each
one to
side?
where we do 7 aside. It's more of a
7
strength
aside.
stretch.
Okay.
You come in, shift, engage, and then transfer out of it.
Okay.
Transfer back in.
Gotcha.
So that can be a mobility warm-up or at the end to release and just make sure everything's opening up and moving well.
Absolutely. Okay, so the second one that you have for us over here.
This one's a hamstring stretch.
Okay.
Most people will lay down. They've done the hurdler one to where they lean over. And I don't want the spine rounded. It's the same thing. I want everything, we're thinking of that neurological approach. Everything's straight. The tendency is going to be to push the toe away to make it easier. We want to pull it back. So we're pulling traction on that nerve and the muscle, all of the fascia. Now, opposite arm, and I rotate into it to intensify.
Wow, okay.
So from here, our body's designed for movement. We don't want to go to a part to where we're holding our breath, but I want to do circles.
Okay. So what is adding that circle and what does that do?
That's the neurological approach. That's that Z-Health approach of our body's designed for movement and our body's positioned in an X.
Okay.
So there's neurological connections from opposing joints. So by me moving the opposite shoulder, I'm actually stimulating that.
Really? Wow. Okay. That's fascinating. Okay, so what else do you have for us?
Okay, so I'm going to bring you on this side here.
Okay.
This is going to be one we're really tight anterior, so we're going to open up the shoulder and the chest. So we want the thumb pointed back. There we go, hand flat. We're designed to get the stretch here. That's what we want here in the bicep. Once we have this locked, now we're turning our body away. We're turning our hips. And same thing, we want to go to a point that we can maintain and still breathe.
Okay.
We don't want to go into threat. Once we get into that point, breathe.
So how do you know when you're into threat? So
if you're having to hold your breath.
Okay, so
if
if we're holding
excess
our breath.
tension, if you're having to flex your face to try to breathe, it's too much.
That's too much. So you want to
Back
go
off.
just to that point.
We want
before
to
you
push
get to
that threshold,
Okay.
back off a little bit, so little by little we get more coordinated control.
Gotcha. Okay. And so again, in terms of the number of repetitions that we're going to do with our hamstrings over here, with our chest, our upper body over here, are we still doing that 7 on each side?
That's the same thing. This can be something that we can work into, keep rotating. I usually try to stay with 5 to 7, holding it for a while to where people are still pushing that threshold and breathing.
Okay.
But these are things that can be done throughout the day.
Okay.
That we're sitting at the desk. These are really high payoff drills, opening areas that are really tight on everybody.
So we don't even have to go to Firebells. We can do
no,
this.
these
but
are
we can
these
make
are
this
high
happen.
payoff for everybody.
Great. Okay. Now, in terms of because you said that we can do this on a sort of case-by-case basis. That's one of the good things about Firebells. You guys come in and you assess the movement before you even get the class members into the classroom.
Exactly.
So you're making sure that they get the optimal workout in.
And that's the same. The movements. These aren't the most glamorous things, but this is.
Did you see me? Not glad.
But this is what creates longevity
Okay.
and progress throughout everything.
Fantastic. So Charles, if someone wants to get in touch with you guys over at Firebells to maybe audit a class, maybe get started, I know you guys are already into the body challenge, the next 12-week body challenge, but if we want to get ready to maybe do the next one, start classes, how do we get in contact?
They can call us at 232-9494 or fire-bells.com. They can find us on Facebook, on YouTube, And just give us a call,
All
stop
over the
in.
place. Yeah, absolutely. Charles Bustos, thank you so much
you.
again, buddy. Again, for more information on how to get yourself working out at Fire Bells, head over to CASA.com. For now,